John Wayne Gacy, known as the Killer Clown due to his regular performances at community events as Pogo the Clown or Patches the Clown, was an American serial killer with 33 victims and possibly more that killed between January 3, 1972 through December 11, 1978. He was born in Chicago, Illinois on March 17, 1942. He was the son of John Stanley Gacy, a World War I veteran and auto repair mechanist, and Marian Elaine Robinson, a homemaker, along with his two sisters, Joanne Gacy and Karen Gacy. Gacy and his sisters were often abused at a young age. His father was an alcoholic and would beat the children with a razor strap for misbehavior. John didn't have friends growing up. He was alienated at school due to a congenital heart condition that kept him from playing with the other kids. His heart condition was another failure in his father's eyes. Gacy also struggled with homosexuality during his childhood. Gacy had two wives, Marilyn Myers and Carol Hoff. He had two kids with Marilyn named Michael and Christine Gacy. When he married Carol, he became the stepfather to her two young daughters. It was believed that at least 30 of his murders had been committed after the divorce of his second wife in 1976. John Wayne Gacy was convicted of numerous crimes. This involves 1 case of sodomy, 33 cases of murder, 1 of sexual assault, and 1 of indecent liberties with a child. Gacy had his first run-in with the law in 1968 when he was convicted of sodomy of a teenage boy in Iowa. This sentenced him to 10 years in prison, but he was released in 1970 on parole for good behavior. Gacy's first known kill was a 16-year-old boy named Timothy McCoy, who Gacy had lured into his home, sexually assaulted, then strangled to death in 1972. Then, in 1978, 15-year-old Robert Peast went missing. He was reported by his mother as last seen at his job at the drugstore, where he was planning to meet Gacy after his shift to discuss a potential construction job. Gacy was arrested that same day on December 21, 1978. 10 days later, police investigated his house in Norwood, Illinois, and found evidence of multiple crimes. After police surveillance and investigation and the discovery of trenches and crawl spaces under the house, Gacy confessed to the murder of around 30 people. John Wayne Gacy was held at Menard Correctional Center for nearly a decade and a half. Even though he had confessed, he later denied being guilty and made a 12-minute recorded statement of innocence. Gacy died on May 10, 1994, at the age of 52 due to lethal injection at Stateville Correctional Center in Crest Hill, Illinois. John Wayne Gacy's crimes were deviant because they were actions that were not considered to be social norms. Sodomy, murder, sexual assault, and indecent liberties with a child are all considered wrong and are all not typical for an average person. Differential association is the idea that you are who you hang out with. I feel like this is what led to Gacy's deviance because he didn't have anyone to socialize with while growing up. I believe that he was trying to fill that void. He began killing after his second wife divorced him. I believe that Gacy became truly deviant when he came to the realization that he was incapable of building any sort of stable bond or relationship with another human being. Socialization is another cause of Gacy's deviance. If you don't have an important adult in your life while growing up, you won't have a superego that's telling you to do the right thing because you have nothing stopping you. Gacy did not have one important adult figure as a child. His father was an alcoholic that had beat him and belittled him compared to his two sisters. Although his mother cared for him very much, she never really did anything to stop the abuse, since she was scared herself of what he would do to her if she were to stand up for young Gacy. Gacy's self-image in his father's eyes was also something that consumed Gacy. He always wanted to impress his father and make him proud, but no matter what he did, his father would find a way to make it seem like he was doing something wrong.